we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds, a podcast. Your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Bunny the Bruiser, and Dynamite Jared Latching.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to
Going good.
It's going well, Austin.
Huh?
I immediately open my mouth. The dog takes off.
Well, you know, he gets excited by Two Nerds, a podcast.
Two Nerds, a podcast. Speaking of Two Nerds, a podcast, I am one of your humble hosts. Dynamite Jared. How you doing, pal?
How's it going? Thank you for finishing that off for me because
I figured you
held out the long note.
I figured you were
didn't
a
have
little
the vocal
straight.
power to continue there. So, Buddy the Bruiser.
Buddy the Bruiser got bruised.
You got bruised
I got
up this
bruised- I
you
got
got bruised
bruised
up this week. And you're telling me a little bit about it before the show, but wanted to save the suspense.
Sure. Yeah, I knew you.
I'm waiting with bated breath to hear the story.
So basically, what happened is, as you can see outside, it is now summer in Ashtabula because
Spring. I'd still consider it spring.
Spring. It's
But
significantly
it's been
warmer.
kind of hot.
It's significantly warmer than it was prior to this week.
And I have to mow my lawn.
Yes.
That's usually
The sign.
the sign.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm going to go walk around my block. It's a nice fucking day. So I go walk around the block, and
Your life is so boring.
I know. My life is the absolute worst.
I'm going to go walk around the block. Did you at least have headphones in?
I did have headphones
Okay.
on. Yes, I was.
What were you listening to?
At the time, I don't remember because the preceding events are so traumatic. I can't remember anything up until that point. So my street is like a kind of like a U shape. Oh, Austin is going wild. What's going on,
There's
Austin?
a motorcycle across the street pulling into a garage.
There's a motorcycle pulling in.
Yes, this device that he's never seen before.
And
He's
Austin,
not a fan of bicycles or motorcycles, apparently. Hey! Knock it off. Come on now. Podcast in proceeding here.
Broadcast is proceeding. Austin is still
Broadcast?
Broadcast.
Yeah, all right.
The cattle broadcast. So I don't even know you can see the bite still. It's just a little fucking thing.
Oh my
But-
God.
But
Ladies
okay.
and gentlemen, I wish you could see this vicious wound that I just
this
looked
vicious
at.
wound.
awful.
So basically, I'm walking around my street. It's like a U shape, and it's like 3 rows that kind of like go together. And so I get to the opposite side, and this little brown and black dog like comes up to me. There's families outside. There's kids playing in the street. Like there's a lot of people outside. This dog comes up to me, starts
Several witnesses.
several witnesses. This dog comes up to me, starts sniffing my ankles, and I'm like, oh hey, and then it starts nibbling at said ankles, and I'm like, oh no thank you, and I just like keep walking. I don't want to hit the dog. It's continuing to do this as I'm walking. I don't want to hit the dog, obviously, and I don't want to run because I don't know whose dog this is. I don't know what's going on, so this dog could very well chase after me, and I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. So I just start walking a little bit faster, and at some point he jumps up and bites my calf area. It broke the skin, didn't draw any blood or anything, and then continued to follow me down the street. This whole thing took about like 5 minutes or so. This dog just like biting my ankles and shit. And I'm like yelling at the dog, like, get the fuck away. And then all these people outside aren't doing shit to help. I don't know whose dog it belongs to. Eventually, these kids who could not be older than kindergarten yelled at the dog, and the dog ran away. And
So the kindergartners were much more intimidating to the dog than you.
it was their family's dog.
Okay.
So, kid scared away the dog. I'm like looking at my leg, making sure it didn't bite, because I only really noticed, like, felt like a big bite when it took like that part of my leg. And I go up to the house, and there's no one there but these kids and this dog that's outside. So the owner comes home, and this chick walks out of the car, and I was like, is this your dog? And she's like, oh, well, it's not my dog. And I was like, well, does the dog live here? And she's like, I guess. And then, yeah. And then, so the guy came who owns the dog, and then he was, like, yelled at the dog and pissed. And then, I had to report it because, I don't know if this dog has its shots and whatnot. So I got vaccinated. I find out in, like, 10 days if I have rabies or not. So Should be
Good.
interesting.
You don't appear to be
I don't appear,
foaming at the mouth
I don't appear
or
to be
anything.
foaming at the mouth at the moment.
Okay,
but-
so possible rabies.
Yes.
What kind of dog was it?
He told me it was a pit bull beagle mix. It was just like a little brown and black piece of shit thing. I don't know.
Attacked by a small dog.
Attacked by a small dog. Yes.
Now, if it's a pit bull mix here, this kind of reminds me of if Austin broke out and bit somebody and like Miria came home and
Yeah.
then it was like,
It was like, I don't know.
is this your dog? And she'd be like, not my fucking dog. Like,
yeah.
So being a pit bull, did it still have the jaw locking mechanism that pit bulls have where it can bite down and then you can't break its grip?
Well, I don't know. I didn't get a big enough bite on me to tell. But I mean, it did. The dog did not look intimidating. I just didn't know, because I don't know, like, because the house it came from was like a kind of not the nicest environment. It's like a redneck haven over there. So I don't know if this dog has been through any like psychological abuse or anything. So I didn't want to hit it or run because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Plus, even if you did hit it, you couldn't talk about it on the
Yeah,
show.
correct.
You'd-
But yeah, I didn't want to do anything to set it off. So I mean, it didn't look intimidating, but I don't know how powerful its bite would be. This is the first time I've ever gotten bit by anything, so.
Damn. When I was a kid, I got mauled by a sheepdog.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got absolutely destroyed by trying to pet a sheepdog while he was eating.
Damn.
That motherfucker pounced on me and bit my face.
Wow.
So that was something. I was scared of dogs for like a really long time, but obviously,
Apparently, according to you, I'm still scared of it. He says that every time I come
that's
over.
according to your girlfriend, man.
Yeah, I don't
she
know.
told me the facts about the situation, that you're scared of my dog. You're
as I
scared of
sit
all
here,
dogs.
as it's 2 feet away from me.
You're scared of my cats, I think. You just you don't like animals.
Terrified of all animals.
I guess. Why does she think this? Is it because you don't like her lizard?
No, I like her lizard. I hold her lizard. No, I never had dogs growing up because my mom doesn't like dogs, and she actually got bit by one when she was little, and she has like a giant chunk that's still like gone from her leg. So we've never had dogs, but I've always said that like when I have a house with like a sufficient amount of yard and whatnot, I want to get like a husky or something. But so I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say when I get a house with.
No.
This is why Emily concludes that that you are afraid of dogs. When I get a house with a nice amount of property and everything, I'm gonna get no dogs.
Like,
All right, so what else is going on this week?
nothing. Then the next day I had to go get shots. So that fucking health department in Ashtabula opens at 8:00. So I show up at 8, and like I'm like, okay, yeah, I'd like to get a tetanus shot, please. I just got bit by a dog. And they're like,
Tetanus shot?
Yeah.
You can get tetanus from getting bit by a dog?
yeah, well, I haven't. Yeah. So I went and got one, and show up at 8:00, and the lady is like, well, the nurse is only here from 9:30 to 11. And it's like, well, then why the fuck are you open 8:00 to 4:30 if you can't do anything? So I show up, get my shot. So that was Tuesday.
I saw you tweet about that.
Yeah,
I think.
it was bizarre. So this week has just been really weird for me. And then I don't know, the next day I went to the Indians doubleheader and saw Quiet Place. The following day I saw Avengers Infinity
Wait, you saw
War.
Quiet Place and the Indians doubleheader in one day?
That is-
So
we
that's over
left-
10 hours of baseball.
We left the second game a little bit because there was a rain delay. So the first game didn't even start until 2 hours after it was supposed to, and we were planning on going to the movie. So I mean, we left before the second game really took off. But I mean, we were there for both games. But I mean, the second game didn't get too far when we left because we were already there for a while, and the first game had like 4 innings of overtime. So it was a long fucking day. It was a long.
And they lost.
And they lost. It was a long fucking day.
Did they win the second game?
They did.
Okay.
So Toronto was 2 losses, 1 win that day with baseball and LeBron making them their bitch. So that was the thing.
Laying claim to the newfound Canadian city, LeBronto.
LeBronto.
Yeah. Okay. So you saw A Quiet Place.
I did.
Is it worth seeing?
I'd say it's worth seeing. I mean, I'd wait till it's on Netflix or something like that. Like I probably wouldn't go pay to. I have a movie pass, but I probably wouldn't advise going to pay to see it. It wasn't that special, and my girlfriend, my fiance, really wanted to fucking go see it because she's a speech and hearing major, and like obviously it's a quiet place. It's significantly more quiet than most places.
Yeah.
You cannot speak. So they communicate with sign language, and so it like coincides with a lot of the stuff she's learning in school. So she really wanted to go see it. She fucking hated it.
Okay.
Because, again, this is like a very specific audience that would not like it. The speech and hearing audience, because they're going to point out literally everything that's wrong about the philosophy of what they're doing with the signing and the sound waves and all that shit. And then like I had to try to explain to her, I was like, yes, but 95% of the people seeing this do not know any of that. So this is applying to making the best film and making the most accurate film is not. It's not.
It doesn't always intertwine like that.
That's like a fucking Jurassic Park and scientists watching it. Like obviously, that's not gonna fucking happen. But I mean, you got to take the movie for what it is, you know.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Any signature Jim Halpert wisecracks in the movie?
No, this is very devoid of humor, this movie. It took itself very seriously.
So no Asian Jim, no. Stapler in the jello or anything?
No,
none of that?
No, nothing, man. But yeah, I mean, it's worth watching. Not worth paying an $11 ticket for, I guess. But
and then
I thought the creatures were. I thought once you see what is attacking it, it was like every time you saw it, it was stupid. Like it was a silly looking like the first 5 minutes of the movie are the best part of the whole movie, and then the rest of it is just because once you see the thing and once you know what's going on, the suspense is like completely dead. And
so you see it in the first 5 minutes?
You see it right in the beginning, and like the beginning really builds tension. The rest of the movie, I did not feel there was as much tension in it. And there was one part where I thought it was similar to like a Saw movie where people are like, they fall into like a corn mill and they're like drowning in corn, and I was like, that was
in the most recent Saw movie, right?
With
sawdust.
Yeah, because we saw that together, so I was like, all right, this just happened in Jigsaw, but they didn't have a monster chasing them, but in Jigsaw, but
so and then after that, you skipped everything, you hopped over everything unless you've been binging over the past week.
Oh no, well, the only ones I've seen besides the first Avengers, that's like when I stopped watching it because I was just underwhelmed by the first Avengers, and then there was way too many fucking movies to keep track of.
Same.
But since then, I've seen both Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and a little bit of Age of Ultron. When I was working, I saw like most of it, but not all of it. I mean, I'm aware of all the characters that are in it, but I've not seen...
No Civil War.
No Civil War, no Spider-Man Homecoming, none of that. Just Black Panther, Guardians, and then everything preceding the first Avengers.
Okay, so I have not checked Letterboxd, so I don't know your rating.
I gave it a 3.
A 3?
I mean, it was fine. It was fine. And every time I walk out of a Marvel movie, it's always... It was fine.
It's either absolutely terrible or it's like, okay, that was
fine.
Okay. It was good.
The only Marvel movie that I walked out of at the time, I don't know if I'd watch it now and have the same reaction. The only one I walked out of that I was like, yeah, that was a good movie, was the first Guardians. Everything else has just been fine. Black Panther was good. I'd say that was a step above fine, but I mean, it wasn't incredible.
It was fine, but it wasn't the fine.
It wasn't the fine. It was like, yeah, it was fine. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't the. Yeah, it's fine. It was like, it's fine.
I haven't seen Infinity War, but I already know that I don't want to see it because of the just obscene amount of overhypeness on the internet, and I could just look at these tweets and comments and posts and everything, and just be like, "You're overhyping this." There's no way in hell that it's this good. It's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And everyone's coming home from it and they're like, oh my God, just saw Infinity War and holy hell, my life has changed.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. And Thanos still looks really stupid.
Well, they make fun of that in the movie. I think Chris Pratt says his chin looks like a ball sack or something. Like, they acknowledge the fact that this movie does have a lot of humor, and I will say this movie is enjoyable throughout, but it's just way too fucking long. And like in my fiance's case,
There is a lot of humor.
yeah. There's a ton of fucking humor.
Because like the trailers paint this picture that it's this dark Avengers movie.
No.
And
The end is where
I remember watching an interview of beforehand where it was like, this is going to be dark and it's not like our other movies.
So apparently Thor Ragnarok is super goofy. I haven't seen it, but
that's like the only one that I'm like interested in seeing, because Jeff Goldblum is in it, and like the way it was explained to me is that it ends up being like a buddy movie between Thor and the Hulk.
Yeah. So apparently that one's super goofy, and the Guardians movies are super goofy. But this one, like literally, like at the beginning, like Thanos' henchmen come to Earth to try to steal the Infinity Stones. And one of the guys that shows up has like a blue face, and it's like super flat, and he doesn't have a nose, but his like front of his face kind of sticks out. And Tony Stark's like, oh, what the hell's the deal with Squidward over here? So like that's like the whole thing has jokes throughout, except I mean the ending part, which I'm sure you've seen relative spoilers from that, but that's
I just know that people die.
Half the people die.
Okay.
So that's
I do notice, and I haven't read the Infinity War or Infinity Gauntlet comics or whatever, so I don't know. But I mean, all the comic book elitists are all on the internet and like, yep, people die. That's the way it happens in the comic books.
Yeah.
Like, no shit, Sherlock. And you're so special because you read the comic books. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
And I just think, in general...
And also, I think it's funny is that there's going to be a sequel, right?
Yes.
And so these characters kind of probably have to come back in some capacity.
Here's the thing, and I'm not the first one to point this out, but I will just say this, that Black Panther was a smash hit. It broke every fucking box office record imaginable.
What, he went down?
So if you think Black Panther is staying dead, you are an idiot.
I will say this, though, is that it's a lot easier to bring characters back to life in comic books, apparently, than it is in movies.
But I mean, you saw my tweet. I was like, does the MCU have Dragon Balls or what? It's like...
Well, okay, so there's that meme out now, and I'm assuming that it's from that where the people kind of, like, break apart, right?
What meme are you... yeah, when people break apart. That's how the death happens. The people breaking apart, yes.
Okay, with, like, you know, like, they break off into little
yes,
squares.
Just like how you see the one with the Raptors logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, that's a meme that's out now, is all, like, the people that break apart and everything.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So, is Black Panther, is he like the top guy that like went down?
No, he's not the top guy that went down.
I'm assuming Iron Man.
I mean, do you want everyone who went down? Or
I don't know. No, it's fine. I'm just gonna assume Iron Man because
that's not a safe assumption.
It's not?
That's not. I will say this:
Tony stays.
I will say that your top tier original Avengers are all fine.
What's the big deal? What?
Like, okay, so
Hulk is good.
Hulk's
Fucking
good.
Captain America's
He's
good.
He's
fucking,
good.
Thor is good.
He's good. He's good, brother.
He's a god. So I mean, and then Iron Man's good.
Yeah.
How did this change anything?
I don't know. Spider-Man went down.
Spider-Man's not gonna stay down. He's fucking Spider-Man. Are you kidding me?
I think all the Guardians went down except for the raccoon. All the rest went down. So Batista's gone. Chris Pratt's gone. Groot's gone.
Also, 2 smash hit movies.
Yes, that are not going away.
That aren't going away.
And they're just designing... This is, like, I guess it doesn't really
I don't know
matter.
how well Spider-Man Homecoming did. I'm assuming it did pretty well for itself. Yeah. But I do know that Spider-Man is probably the most valuable Marvel property that there is. He's definitely the most popular Marvel character overall.
Yes, in general. Not necessarily in these movies, but in the grand scope of things. Yes.
And also, people die in the comics. Well, did Spider-Man stay dead in the comics? I can tell you for a fact that he absolutely did not and never has stayed dead in the comic books.
No. But and this is kind of unrelated because they could do this regardless. But Disney World just opened a Guardians ride in California, and they're in the process of opening a new Guardians roller coaster in Florida, which opens in 2021. So I would say it's safe to assume they're not staying dead.
So people got emotional because a bunch of basically glorified side characters.
No, I
died.
was gonna say the mid-card talent went down.
In the comic book universe, they're not the mid-card talent.
Correct.
And in the movie universe, Spider-Man used to be main event talent, but since being introduced into the MCU, he's been treated
late.
He's been treated like mid-card talent. Black Panther's mid-card talent.
Yeah.
He's mid-card. I'm sorry, but I mean, like, if you read the comics or if you look at the movies that get the most, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, Black Panther's not overcoming Iron Man anytime soon, as far as importance in the MCU.
Correct.
Or the Hulk, or these timeless classics. Basically, most of you people that only watch the movies only found out that Black Panther was actually a superhero
when Civil War
Civil War came out. So, I mean, that kind of speaks to his importance, whereas kind of Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, these were all household names before any of these movies even happened.
Yeah.
Captain America, he definitely was, because he's been a superhero since the 40s.
Yeah. The best joke probably in the whole movie has to do with the people drifting away or whatever. And it happens to Samuel L. Jackson. And he's only in the movie for like 5 seconds. It shows him he's driving a car, and then a car crashes in front of him. This is the scene like after the credits, so it doesn't really matter too much because it just sets up the next movie. But a car crashes in front of him because a person in that car died or whatever. And then he looks over, a helicopter crashes because the pilot of the helicopter drifts away or whatever. Then he's like, oh shit, and he like grabs his thing to like call someone to help. And as he starts drifting away, he's like, motherfucker. And then, like, because it's like a Disney. I mean, you can't say that in a Disney movie.
Yeah, obviously.
But it was funny.
All right. Well.
But yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I mean, it was good. It was.
And you'll be seeing the sequel?
I'll see the sequel, yeah.
So this reignited your interest in the MCU?
Well, no, I mean, it ends on such a down note. I mean, I want to see how it ends. Like, I'm not going to not see part 2. And
okay, so.
I don't understand.
One of the Infinity Stones can, like, rewrite reality, basically, right?
There's, like, a reality stone, a power stone, a soul stone, space, power, and then there's, like, one more.
So basically what's going to happen here is, no, I don't want to spoil anything for you, one of the Avengers is going to get this Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos.
They almost did in this one, but...
They're going to do it in the next one, and they're going to bring everyone back with it, because they can change reality, they can change space and time. They become basically omnipotent with this thing. So that's what's going to happen. I just spoiled the sequel for you.
Yeah.
Black Panther's not going to stay dead. Everyone, you can dry your tears.
Yeah.
Read the comic book because it makes you elite.
Yes, apparently. Just in general, and I feel this with every Marvel movie, it's way too fucking long. Especially even now that there's going to be a part 2, and that's going to be another 3 hours. Like, I didn't think you needed to see him getting every single fucking stone. I think you could have started, it's like, oh shit, he's already got 4, we better protect the rest. Like, you know, you don't need to see everything. And then in general...
Well, here's the thing with that is because you don't read the comics, and I mean, I read comics, but I haven't read a comic in a long ass time. And I try not to really get into like the Marvel or DC universe because they have so much stuff going on and so many different continuities that I prefer to save some brain capacity for other things. The people that read comics, the comic purists, are going to bitch if you don't put in as much detail as possible.
Yeah.
You didn't show him get the first 4 stones, but this, and this happened when that happened. It's kind of like with Twilight or any book or anything that like someone reads and then the movie comes out.
And, there's stuff
and then there's like little details that are missing, and then they're always like, oh, the book is better. They didn't show this one conversation of very little consequence between these two characters.
Yeah. and like I said, just being pure to the source material doesn't make it a better movie. And I think that some of this could have been cut down. But yeah, I think if they could do a movie...
By the way, I don't know how pure it is to the source material.
Oh, yeah, I don't either.
Because I didn't read the comics.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that in the source material, it did show that him getting each Infinity Stone. Here's my thing, is that they've been teasing Thanos for so fucking long. Like... in these Avengers movies, like he's been shown post credits, and like I think he was shown in one of the Guardians movies.
Well, he's the villain in the first one, but like they don't fight him. Or he's there. He's like in his chair, like spouting orders and stuff. And he's one of the Guardians. It's his daughter is one of the Guardians.
Okay, so all that's a thing. Why can't they be like kind of showing him like getting these stones like? Throughout the Avengers franchise, like that's your post-credit scene. It's like him picking up one of the stones or something and smacking it into the gauntlet, whatever the fuck he does with them. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it shows him get.
And then like the last post-credits thing leading up to the Infinity War is him puts in one. And then he only needs one more. Like, it shows the gauntlet. It's like, okay, there's only one missing.
Well, the issue is 2 of the Avengers have the stones. So those would be the 2 that you could have had in the movie, because Doctor Strange has one and I forget the other guy's name. Vision has one.
Okay.
So
he's gone, right?
Well, yeah, he fucking tears the stone out of his head, bruh.
Yeah. So,
I also felt that there were a lot of, like, everyone saw the memes of Goku and Thanos, and just watching this whole movie, I'm just waiting for Goku to show up. There were a lot of parallels with Dragon Ball Z in this, because, like, Thanos is kind of like a Frieza type guy. He's, like, thinks he's doing the right thing for the betterment of himself and the
Frieza doesn't think that.
Well, I'm saying the way he's going, that's what Thanos thinks, but Frieza is going, destroying the planets and stuff, and that's what Thanos is doing as well. But they have different motivations, but
Frieza has a galactic trade. So he destroys planets, but he also just conquers them and sells them to the highest bidder.
Yes.
Here's the thing that Dragon Ball fandom has been wondering lately is who's buying the planets?
I don't know.
Like, who are the people buying planets from Frieza? We'll probably never know.
We'll never know.
Because they haven't really talked about the trade since...
Season 3.
Yeah. But regardless. So, that being said... You've seen movie Thanos. Now, we're not going to talk about comic Thanos because all these characters tend to be more powerful in comic book lore. Do you think that Ultra Instinct Goku could take Thanos?
If you can get that gauntlet off of him. Well, I mean, but we really didn't see, once Thanos got all the stones, we didn't really see him fight too much. So I don't know what he could potentially do now that he has all 7.
Well, it seems like he could do pretty much whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. Basically, he gets all 7. Thor has this, like, special hammer axe thing that he got from this planet, and he hits Thanos in the chest, and Thanos is hurt quite a bit from it, but he's like, you should have got me in the head, and, like, snaps his fingers, and, like, everything. That's when people start fucking dying. And then, really, we don't see Thanos fight at all once he has all 7, so I'm assuming that's what you'll see in the next one. But
he fights before he has them?
Yeah, he fights before he has all of them. Yeah.
And he's still whooping on people?
Yeah, I mean, he's whooping on people. There is a point where once a lot of people team up on him, they kind of have him on the fence. But, I mean, that's no good.
So, without stones, you think...
Without stones, Goku would smack him around.
Yeah.
No, without any stones, like, you can argue even, like, Iron Man or Hulk could smack him. Like, him and Hulk, before he had a lot of stones... They were, like, pretty evenly matched. I mean, Thanos came out on top, obviously.
There's some people that say that Hulk could take Goku.
I don't know.
It's a tough one. I think that with the introduction of Ultra Instinct, I don't think that Hulk could take Goku.
I also think from it...
Because Hulk could never be... He'd never be able to touch him.
Yeah. And
that's not even Mastered Ultra Instinct. With Mastered Ultra Instinct, Goku... Seems like you could take pretty much anybody with that.
And we could do a whole Godcast about this, Goku standing up against other people And
We kind of already talked about if he could take Beerus or not. Right?
If Goku
In the
could
last
take
one.
Beerus?
In the last one. Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, if he could take Beerus.
Yeah, I think he could.
I'd like to believe that he can't. And in the manga, it's shown that Beerus does have partial mastery of Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
I think that's all he would need to take a mastered Ultra Instinct from a mortal.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I mean that'd be an interesting conversation. But I think we have a lot more to talk about today. What'd you find on the Twitterverse there? Anything?
Gorachu.
Gorachu?
That's the hypothetical second evolution of Pikachu that never came to be. When they were first designing Pikachu and the Pokemon, he was supposed to have 2 evolutions.
Because they didn't know he'd be the Smash standalone like character hit at the time, right?
They said that they took the second evolution out for gameplay balance.
Oh, okay.
So maybe his second evolution was too powerful?
I don't know. I find that difficult to believe, but okay.
Well, he had fangs and horns, buddy, so
Okay.
you never know. I can't see him being more powerful than Mewtwo.
I can't either. I can't see it being more powerful than one of your starters, like more all powered up, really. I don't know.
Yeah,
Especially-
I see what you mean, but I could see him probably being on par with one of those.
Yeah. But I don't think it would disrupt the balance, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I could definitely see it being on par with them because Raichu is kind of like that middle level like type of
Yeah.
Pokemon anyways.
Yeah,
Like he would basically be like the mid-level electric if there were an electric starter
Yeah.
in the original.
Yeah.
Whereas in Pokemon Yellow, it's the only starter you can
Yes.
get.
Correct. Well, you get all the starters, but Pikachu's the
Can
one
you
start
even
with.
evolve Pikachu in Yellow? Your starting
I
Pikachu?
never tried to, but I would assume you can't. I've never tried though. Because
can you evolve a wild Pikachu in that? Can you even catch a wild Pikachu?
You can't catch a wild one. If you want another Pikachu in that game,
You have to trade?
You have to trade, and then if you want to complete your Pokedex, you can evolve that one. But I think your Pikachu is the Pikachu like from the show. So if you show the
He
thing,
can't like.
Yeah.
He's afraid of the stone.
Well, he'll kick it away. He doesn't
Okay.
want it. Yeah. So third evolution Pikachu's a no go.
No, this wasn't.
No, I know it was back then.
This
but-
was talked about in a recent interview that surfaced with one of the concept artists of the original Pokemon
games.
Yeah. What else did I see?
So The Rock was supposed to be starring in a new movie that he's producing, and it's called like the Jensen Project or the Jepstone Project or something. It's like a movie about an FBI agent who has to like try to save this person, and hijinks ensue. It's like your typical 80s action movie made today. But apparently, due to some commitments, The Rock has to drop out of acting in said film and is just going to be producing. And they have announced his replacement. Would you like to take a guess on who his replacement is?
Schwarzenegger.
No.
Stallone.
Let me phrase. So let's say
Chris Pratt.
Let's say The Rock is a top actor.
Yeah.
He was a top guy in the WWE. The Rock leaves, and then eventually someone is going to have to emerge and grab the torch.
Cena.
John Cena has been
that's
announced.
a good replacement. That's good. I think so. They're both buff. Like they're both funny.
So thrice in a lifetime. Only this time it's the movie edition.
Yeah.
And The Rock put out an Instagram video, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm still producing it. So Cena, if you're messing up, I'm gonna come drop the people's elbow on you."
Next WrestleMania feud.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if The Rock is still going to be in the movie as like a lesser role, but he is not portraying the lead.
I think it'd be cool if like he played like maybe like a henchman.
Yeah.
Or something that like him and Cena cross paths.
Yeah.
And then they like, or maybe like kind of like an anti-hero type where they don't want The Rock to do the job for Cena.
Yeah.
So like they kind of like they have like a history. They show up, they duke it out a little bit, just to kind of,
like they're just
it's
old
a
rivals.
fan service.
He's the
you know what
Gary.
I mean? They duke it out a little bit, but it kind of ends in a no contest.
Yeah.
Something else comes up.
Yeah, he's the Gary Oak. He's your rival.
Yeah.
So
Well, Gary was kind of a dick.
Gary was kind of a dick, but I always liked Gary. So
I wouldn't say I always liked him.
well, have you? Okay.
As I've grown, I've grown to appreciate him and the humor he brings to the table.
Well, Pokemon was a big deal when I was a kid, and when I was at school, I didn't really have to worry about walking around on the playground and stepping into a pile of human feces. But it appears as if that is not the case for this school, I think, in New Hampshire.
I thought this would be a school that you were substituting
No,
for.
not a school I was substituting for. No, but let's see where New Jersey school was under attack by a poop bandit. Which, that's what they were... I always assumed bandit meant you were taking things, not leaving things.
Yeah.
So I don't know if poop bandit...
Is
more
the
like
proper, I don't think that's the proper terminology.
It's a poop supplier.
Yeah.
But basically, there was a mystery shitter.
They're under attack by a poop supplier.
There was a mystery shitter that was taking shits all around the track and field and football area of this school. And this was an ongoing process. And no one could figure out who it was. The school's administration, the superintendent are all like, oh, we don't know what's going on. Well, it'll be a further investigation. Did
they run a DNA test on the poop?
Would you like to venture a guess on who the mystery pooper was?
John Cena.
No.
Sylvester Stallone.
No.
Was one of the teachers?
It was the superintendent himself.
Oh my God! What a plot twist!
New Jersey Superintendent Thomas Tramaglini was arrested after he was allegedly spotted defecating on the high school's track and football field. Motivation is unknown.
Damn.
But
I really want to get inside this guy's head.
yes, the 42-year-old is charged with lewdness, littering, and defecating in public.
And he's not going to be superintendent anymore.
I would assume he's not going to be superintendent anymore. He's got a hell of a mugshot.
Why do people always look terrible in mugshots?
I don't know. I actually saw one of a person who was like smiling in their mugshot, and it was like really fucking weird. It's like, why are you so stoked to be in jail? Shit, he almost made $150K a year. Now he's gonna be in jail for taking shits. At that point, you're like, why are you taking shits in public? What is the? I don't get it. What's he? I don't know the motivation. But
well, hopefully it will come. It'll. There will be a trial, correct?
I'm hoping it's a televised trial.
Yeah, we should get this on True TV or wherever they televise court trials these days. So
we've talked about a poop knife on the show. Now we're talking about a poop bandit on the show.
All right. So, something surfaced on Twitter. I noticed it earlier today, and you said you've noticed it as well. Is the 24 karat gold chicken wing?
Yes, I have noticed that.
That Food God apparently collaborated with one of the Kardashians with and served in a restaurant. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know where the restaurant is. I don't really care. I watched the video, and it's one of the most annoying videos I've ever seen in my entire life. They're eating a chicken wing that's kind of got a light buffalo sauce butter glaze kind of deal on it. It like appears like to be like kind of a golden brown, but then they sprinkle actual dusted 24 karat gold on top of it, and then people eat this. And they sprinkle, I think they said like a $200 worth of gold on one chicken wing or whatever. And so like an order of it is like $1,000 worth.
Right. Yeah.
And so I don't even know what to say. As a lover of chicken wings, as a lover
of gold,
I wouldn't really say I'm a lover of gold aside from championship gold. But this is awful. How rich do you really have to be like, you know what? I'm going to drop $1,000 on a chicken wing that's gold and know for a fact that it's probably not going to be anywhere near as good
as a normal chicken
wing.
There's a show on YouTube. It's a BuzzFeed show where basically they take 3 foods. It's called Worth It. And they take 3 foods from like 3 different price points and say which one's the best. So like they'll do a show all about like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of one that involved gold, but like pizza. Like they'll get like $1 slice of pizza. They'll get pizza that's like a $20 pizza. Then they'll get a pizza that's like $700 and it has like gold flakes and truffles and all this shit on it. So I can see them probably doing a show based off of this now that has surfaced. But every time they get gold, like they say they enjoy it and like it's a great experience, but it never wins the worth it like pick. Because at the end they pick
How's it a great experience? I don't know.
I've never tried it.
If I like gold, okay, I don't want it inside my body. I want it
around my house.
Around my house, around my neck, maybe, like on my watch. You know what I mean? That's a status symbol. My gold watch, not my golden chicken wings that I'm eating. That's just making your chicken wings taste not as good. Yeah. In my opinion.
I don't know. Don't knock it till you try it, but I can't imagine.
I'm never going to try it.
I can't imagine.
I think that Quaker Steak and Lube is holding up just fine for me. Yeah. And if they ever release a $1,000 golden chicken wing, I'll stick with their golden garlic chicken wing as opposed to that. This isn't even like alcohol, like the Goldschlager, or whatever.
I know.
Cut your stomach open so you get drunk faster. There's literally no reason for the gold there. It just really irritated me. I was like getting like seriously irritated as I watched it. What always wins? The $20 pizza?
It depends. Like, occasionally the
cheapest one will win.
Well, no, I'd say usually they're kind of split on it because it's 3 guys. So usually it's like one person picks one and then the other 2 people pick another one, and usually the highest expensive one never wins. But occasionally, like, the highest one will win.
When it doesn't have gold flakes on it.
Yeah, like, it depends on which one it is. Like, sometimes they'll do, like, an expensive wine, and, like, they pick the expensive wine. Or, like, sometimes it's, like, a buffet.
Yeah, well, it's because expensive wine.
And, like, they'll pick the most expensive out of the buffets. Like, it depends on the episode. But I'd say most commonly, the cheapest one gets 1 vote, and the middle one gets 2. Most commonly.
I just watched an episode of Good Mythical Morning where they made, they fancified the McGriddle.
Okay. And how does one fancify McGriddle?
They took all the ingredients of a McGriddle and just kind of used like
high-end products.
Like the most high-end you could get for it. And so, you know, they made their own pancakes and they got like the most fancy maple syrup you could get to like infuse in the pancakes. Yeah. They took all the meat, like, so they, you have your 3 different choices of meat. You have your Canadian bacon, your sausage, and your bacon.
Which one do you go with?
I go with the sausage.
I'm a sausage guy as well.
But they took them all, and they took the most high end of each one you could get, and they kind of all mashed it all together into like one patty. Right. And then they took, for the egg, they originally had, I want to say like swan eggs or something.
Swan eggs?
Something like that, but they were too small, so they ended up going with the ostrich egg. Okay. For this one, and so like that was like $100 egg or something, right. You know, they cracked open and ostrich egged it. And they ended up turning it into like a $200 McGriddle or whatever. And it was pretty good, but they seemed underwhelmed. Like, they said it was definitely better.
Well, yeah.
But not worth
the $200.
The $200 or whatever it would take to make it that much better. Yeah. I would assume that just making a McGriddle at home would probably be better.
Yeah, I would assume.
Like, if you just took all your, like, probably normal level ingredients and made it yourself, it would probably just be better.
Or on the same level. They're fine. I mean, I like McGriddles.
McGriddles are great. I love them. That's probably the best thing that they have at McDonald's.
Yeah. I don't like that McDonald's is getting all fancy now with like these artisan, like $7 fucking burgers and shit. Like, I'll probably never get one of those in my life.
Yeah, stick with the Big Mac.
Yeah. But, yeah, any other updates for this week? Anything you want to talk about next week?
I don't know what's going on next week. Who knows what will happen?
Backlash is tomorrow. By the time most of you guys watch this, it'll probably already happened. I don't know. Do you think Nakamura is going to take it or Styles is going to retain? Just to have it on record before it happens.
All right. Well, if they're going to do it, tomorrow
is the time.
That's the time. I mean, I've said that pretty much about every single time that he's went for the damn belt. But I I think he's, according to reports that I've read, now I've only watched one match of his as a heel, which was at the Greatest Royal Rumble. But according to everyone, is that his heel run is going much better than his babyface run was, as from a creative standpoint. And so, like I said, for Greatest Royal Rumble, AJ doesn't really have much more to do with that belt.
Yeah.
And so if I'm writing it, I'm giving it to Nakamura.
Yeah.
WWE is writing it, so there's no fucking telling what they're going to do.
There's no clue. Whoever wins the match is probably going to go in a program with Samoa Joe after. I assume Joe wins at Backlash to keep him strong for that, because I don't know why he would job out to Roman and then get into the main event picture. So I'm assuming Joe goes over.
Do you really think that Nakamura could win and then Joe heel versus heel against Nakamura? Or do you think they turn Joe face?
Well, I mean, Joe isn't the kind of heel that you're going to boo. He's the tough guy that people are going to cheer because he kicks people's asses. So I think going into the match, he's going to be cheered. So I don't think it would matter too much if it's heel versus heel, technically.
Well, people still cheer Nakamura.
Not as much. Not as much now, but...
Not as much, but the hardcore fans are still cheering
yeah.
for him. And I mean, that's basically who's still cheering for Joe.
Yeah. Well, I think either way, regardless if it's Joe...
I would rather see, at this point, kind of like... I think that it's a death sentence to do a turn and then go right into a championship feud. Like, basically turn to get into a championship feud. It's basically a death sentence. You're not going to win the belt, especially when Nakamura just got it. I'd like to see... I'd like to see Daniel Bryan put Cass away at Backlash again.
Did you see what Cass did this week on SmackDown?
With the midget?
Did you see a clip? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
it's not. Here's the thing: it's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's like no one on the planet laughs at this anymore.
Yeah.
And like, so I mean. I just don't know what to say about it. It's just stupid. There's no point in doing it.
Yeah. The word on the street, if Bryan does not win, they're thinking The Miz is going to interfere in some fashion, which I think is just speculation because The Miz is already on the show in another match, so I don't see that
That's
happening.
true. So I would like to see Bryan go into the world title picture against Nakamura, but he does have this thing to get rid of this Miz feud. But man, they're just letting it boil and boil.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to. They're making us wait for it.
Yeah.
So who knows? Perhaps Miz costing him the world title against Nakamura. Maybe
could be a thing.
Maybe he goes on to face Nakamura, which I mean, that's a dream match that really like no one.
Well,
no one's going to argue with that matchup on paper. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, if you're listening to this after tomorrow night, I mean, most of our stuff is probably wrong or outdated anyway. So, I don't know. We've talked enough this week.
It's Cinco de Drinko.
It's Cinco de Drinko.
I'm going to go get a burrito.
I'm going to go to sleep. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, again, if you guys like this episode, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share our shit with a friend.
Follow us on Twitter.
Help us out a lot.
Like us on Facebook.
Yep. Do all that good stuff. And this is Buddy the Bruiser. And
make sure you have an adequate amount of real friends before you try and follow to add us on Facebook. Because if not, I'll think that you are a bot.
Correct. This is Buddy the Bruiser. We'll see you next week.
Dynamite Jared signing off to get a burrito.